What's up, everybody? Z3 KO Trinity here. Welcome to the horror vlog. In today's horror vlog, we are going to be discussing places no man should ever step upon. Or woman, whichever. Have you guys ever been someplace, seen some shit, and just could not get back from it? Have you guys saw a house? Have you saw a mansion? Have you saw a shed? Have you saw the middle of the woods? Just seen some creepy place and you get this little thought in your head, hey, maybe I shouldn't go there. Maybe I should just turn around and walk away right now. Have you ever decided to go anyway? To not listen to your thoughts? To just enter that graveyard? To go in that shed? To go in the middle of the woods? Hey, Mr. Isaac, what's up? Hey, dude, sorry I missed your live vlog yesterday. I was at the movies. That's alright. I just did the vlog anyway. People can always go back, rewatch it. But that's fine. I'm glad you get to make it to the horror vlog, which is more important than my life. But, yeah. Have you ever seen a place, just this unholy place, that you were like, I want to go in there. But then you get this little thought in your head, I better not go in there. Something does not seem right about this place. And you should turn around right now. Have you guys ever done that? Also, thank you for recommending Bird Box. I really enjoyed it. I'm glad you did. That was a good movie. Today, I am going to be doing movie reviews about movies where people decide to go places and regret it highly. Before we get started, I do want to say a place that I went to that I regret. I found two places, actually. One, I chose not to go. And it still haunts me that I didn't, but I'm so glad that I didn't. I went walking in this area, and it was like a woodsy-like area, and I'd actually got lost. This was back when I was dating my ex, and I was just walking through town, and I started going through like back roads, and I entered these woods. Well, through all this woods, I found a tiny shack, and it had a well beside it. And my first thought was, oh my god, it's the Ring. Something jokingly like that. Yes, I've got that feeling when I was growing up. It was a forest where a kid our age turned up dead, and we went in that summer. Did anything happen when you went there? But I saw this shed, and I was joking about it, like, oh, it's the Ring, blah, 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 and all that stuff. Well, I decided to approach this shed, and it had a little window on the side of it. When I looked into the window, I didn't see nobody there, nothing like that. What I did see was a bunch of tools on the walls, saws, knives, machetes, all kinds of tools, rusty tools. We got scared off by a homeless guy. That would be terrifying. Just some guy shows up, rough looking, get out of my property. But nobody showed up. What happened? My camera froze. Oh, that was weird. Man, you don't want to find out who's I'm sorry about that, guys. My phone just kind of crashed or something. So hopefully that didn't screw up too much. But let's continue. Hopefully it still shows what I did before. If it doesn't, oh well. Just a quick synopsis. We're discussing places that you should not go. Um, if you ever found a building that, like, have you seen a graveyard or a building, and you're like, man, I shouldn't go there, but you decided to anyway? That's what we're discussing right now. And I'd said that I walked into the woods and I saw this shack in these woods, and it had a well beside it, and it had a little window on the side of the shack. Well, when I went and approached the window and I peeked in, I saw all these tools, these saws, knives, and they were rusty looking too, just hanging on the wall. And the ground was dirty. It had dirt, leaves, all kinds of that stuff in it. So I immediately thought, like, that somebody killed somebody in that shack and, like, tossed their bodies in the well. I didn't look in the well, nothing like that. As soon as I saw all that in the shack, my ass bolted. I didn't even bother. But what would have happened if I chose to have walked in that shack? The door could have been open. I could have easily opened the window and crawled in. But I've seen Jeepers Creepers, and I am not going to be a part of that. Yeah, good thinking. Yeah, as soon as I saw the rusty tools, and it wasn't your typical, like, oh, just a hammer and something, anybody would put in, like, their back shack or something. It was, like, really weird surgical tools, too. So I was like, fuck that. It's like the basement scene in Zodiac. Yeah. But yeah, I chose not to go there. Now, the next story is the one I did go into. Above my grandma's house, she has a cemetery up the road. And one day, me and my cousin walked up the road towards the cemetery. Well, we saw this building there that had a pentagram carved in the side of it. And, first thoughts, we should not go in there. But my cousin's one of those, oh, what are you, a chicken? So we both went in there, and we found books of black magic. And I kid you not, we found actual, like satanic books there. And they had, like, marbles thrown around the whole floor, everything like that. And I immediately was, like, terrified because my grandma had told me that there was witches that lived up the road. And we had to be careful. And I thought she was just joking. But when I saw that shack, I got scared. But, of course, my cousin, he was like, oh, this is cool, blah, 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 and started looking through the books and shit. Well, we were about to head out. Then all of a sudden, all the marbles on the floor, and you're going to think I'm lying, but I am dead serious. All the marbles rolled into the floor suddenly and gathered into the center of the building. And they all just, like, was together in the center of the floor in the building. After that, we got the hell out of there. And we never went back. In the same forest, there was this old building where it had "Thou shalt not kill" written in what looked like blood. Oh, shit. There was a building, I saw a building a long time ago. It was like not really just a building, it was actually a little trailer, and someone spray painted "Thou shalt not steal" on the side of the building. I thought that was weird. But for the very first movie I'm going to be doing a review. Oh, you actually took a picture on your phone? It's a wonder it weren't cursed. But for the very first movie I'm going to review, it's called Get Out. And we're going to take it back to caller. Yeah, please show me after that, because that would be crazy. I wish I would have taken a picture of all that stuff that I've seen. I know where the building is that has "Thou shalt not steal." I might take a picture of it when I go there. I don't go towards the building, but I know where it's located. But the first movie is called Get Out. And it's about this guy named Chris. He is a photographer, and he is dating a girl named Rose Armitage. Well, they've been dating for 5 months, and she wants to introduce him to her family. And he's all like, does your family know I'm black? and she's all joking, you know, saying no and all this kind of stuff. And but the whole thing is that she's wanting him to introduce him to her family, and he chooses to go with her. Now, when they arrive there, he sees that the whole thing's just kind of off. It's like a nice looking house, big mansion, but he sees this servant out in the yard, and Rose tells him that it's their gardener, and he's also a black guy. So immediately he's thinking, okay, well that's a little weird. And then he introduces to her parents, which are these two right there. I don't know how well you'll see, but they come off pretty normal right at the start, and then it kind of gets a little weird. They start asking like really weird questions and start acting a little funny. And then he introduces to their other servant. What was her name again, babe? Georgina, that's right. Thank you. Georgina. And he's like, wait a minute, so another black servant. So immediately starting to look really shady. But as the movie progresses, he starts meeting her family's friends, which are all these white people, and they all ask him like different questions and stuff like that. Like, for example, this Asian guy, I don't know whether he's Japanese or Chinese, but he asks him, he says, do you think that in today's time an African American would be at an advantage or a disadvantage? And then they just have different stuff, like this big chunky guy, he's all like, well, black is in nowadays. And they just start acting real weird and asking very weird questions. And he ends up seeing this other guy, man, I can't remember his name, but he comes up to him, he's like, hey, it's nice to see another brother around. And the guy turns around and he's acting all fake. He's like, and each one of them look like back in like the 60s or something. They're all dressed up like they're from the 1960s and stuff like that. He turns around and the guy starts talking to him, and he kind of recognizes that guy. And he's all dressed up like this. Well, in one scene, he's acting so weird, he wants to take his picture to show his other friend, the one that he was friends with back where they were originally from. And he takes a picture, and the camera flashes on the guy. And then all of a sudden, blood comes out of his eye. Yeah, the flashlight. The blood starts pouring out of the guy's eye. And then he grabs him by the shoulders and he goes, get out. Get out. And he starts like flipping out. And her parents take him inside with his old-ass wife or whoever was with him. And he comes out and he's like better now and everything's cool. But it does have a pretty cool plot twist to the movie, which I won't spoil. Yeah, the twist. See, I didn't see that coming. I kind of guessed where the movie was going, because as I was watching, I was like, I bet you that they're auctioning off, like hypnotizing these people and auctioning them to be like servants to their white friends. But there is a bigger plot twist that I won't reveal, but it blew my mind completely. And this is probably one of the best movies I have seen, and I loved how it ended. Same, I didn't get it exactly, but on the same line. Now, there was one moment where I was getting really pissed off, and that was very end where the cop car pulls up. And I was thinking, oh my god, here's this cop that stopped him at the beginning and was acting all racial towards him as well. Well, show me your ID. I was thinking, oh god, it's going to be him, and it's freaking just going to piss me off. But thank god it ended the way it did, and I was just absolutely blown away by it. So if you have not seen Get Out, it is a 11 out of 10 for me. Probably one of the best movies of this generation's. It's mostly kind of thriller, I guess you could say, but I found it to be horrifying as well. Like, imagine yourself in his position, feeling helpless, feeling paralyzed. And just every time and I wanted to break that teacup over that bitch's head. She's sitting there like, now tell me about your mom. Yeah, that pisses me off. By the way, I want to show you guys an anniversary gift that my fiance gave me. Oh, I can't because it has my last name on it. I done forgot about that.
You just cover up the last name.
Well, anyway, it says Mr. and Mrs. last name, and then it has the day that we're getting married, October 19th. So I thought that was really great. I don't know. I probably could say my last name, but I worry about that online. Yeah. But anyway, great movie. And also there's a new movie, and Isaac already has got up. He's got a new movie coming out. Yeah. It is called Us. It's about this family who's going on a vacation for Christmas. They go to the beach, and everything's fine and dandy. Their son, I think it was their son, walks off, and he sees this guy standing on a beach. He's acting weird, and blood's dripping from his hands. And they end up going to this cabin for Christmas, and they see these strange people out their window. And it turns out it's them. People that look just like them. They're identical. And they seem kind of alien the way they act. Like they walk on walls and all kinds of stuff. So it's going to be an intense movie. It's made from the guy who wrote Get Out. So it's probably going to be really good. The movie's called Us. If you have not seen the trailer, look it up. It looks intense. But yeah, excellent movie. I love the way that they described where his hypnosis is, like where he sinks through the ground. I love that. So, great movie. I'm sorry I don't want to know anything about his new movie. Can you put your thumb up when you finish explaining it? Oh, it's done. Sorry. I just said what the trailer was. I didn't say nothing else about it. Give a thumbs up in case he muted it. But the next movie, before we get into it, have you guys ever saw something that you weren't supposed to see? Like you were in a hotel room and you're going down to the lobby or something and someone leaves their door cracked and you kind of peek in and you see someone getting shanked. Have y'all ever saw that? I haven't, so thank God. But yeah, that is a possibility. So if you're ever out somewhere and you see a door cracked, would you guys be... Because my cousin, he's one of the types that would peek. But me, I'm like, no, leave well enough alone. Okay, I'm back. Don't worry, man. I've just decided not to watch trailers anymore because I found it much better. Oh, shit. You're fine, my phone fell. Now I can't get it balanced. Damn it. There we go. Thank God. Yeah, trailers do reveal way too much, and sometimes movie trailers show all the scariest scenes. I was just letting people know who have not heard about this movie, so I do apologize to you for that. But the next movie is a classic movie, speaking of creepy hotels. It is one of, by far, the greatest story ever told by Mr. Alfred Hitchcock. It is Psycho. If you have not seen Psycho, you're living under a rock. Because this is the horror movie that changed the world. No, you don't have an issue. It's perfectly fine. But this movie changed the face of horror. With the whole shower scene and everything. It is by far one of the greatest movies ever existed. And I've recently found out, now this shocked the hell out of me, and for someone who loves horror, I'm surprised I didn't find this out sooner. But the woman that played in the original Psycho movie is Jamie Lee Curtis's mom. That freaking surprised the holy hell out of me. Her name is Janet Leigh. And I just I was so blown away by that news that she's Jamie Lee Curtis's mom. That's insane. But for some godforsaken reason, you don't know what this story's about. It's about a woman who, at the beginning, is kind of leaving her husband or fiance or something, and she ends up taking the money and she like splits. Well, she ends up going to, or she keeps driving and she ends up at a place called the Bates Motel, and it is raining really hard, and she knocks on the door and talks to a man named Norman Bates, who she says that she needs a place to stay for the night and all this stuff. Well, Norman tells her he lives in a house above the hill, above the hotel, and he says he lives there with his mom. And you can see his mom rocking in a chair at the very high window. He tells her she's sick, tells her everything. She doesn't get out much. You won't meet her, nothing like that. Well, he has this collection of stuffed birds all in his office. Well, he ends up starting to like this woman, and he has a scene where he's talking to his mom, and he's like, "Mom, I really like her," and she's like, "She's a whore," and blah, blah, blah. And the movie goes on. Well, it has the most iconic scene in horror movie history where she ends up taking a shower, and you see this figure standing there, and it's a shadowy figure of the curtain, and it has a knife. And they pull back the curtain, she turns and screams, and you just see the knife stabbing, and it looks like a woman's garment. So, Norman Bates' mom kills this woman. Well, which is the most iconic scene where it shows the blood going down the drain and all that. That's the most iconic scene, and it changed all of horror history. But the actors in this movie are so good. Anthony Perkins did such a fantastic job playing Norman Bates. There's other versions out there with Vince Vaughn, but I can't stand those. This is the only Psycho I want to watch. But for some reason, if you have not seen this movie, I won't spoil no surprise for you. But because I try to keep it spoiler free for the horror vlogs in case if somebody hasn't seen it. And believe me, there are probably people that have not seen this. My fiance being one of them. She's never seen Psycho. And I'm going to change that probably today. But this is Alfred Hitchcock's masterpiece, one of his best works ever. I'm a huge Alfred Hitchcock fan. And the next horror vlog I'm going to do is going to be a Alfred Hitchcock horror vlog. So I hope you guys join me for that one. But I love this movie. I had to study this movie in a movie appreciation class. We actually had a movie appreciation class where we had to actually do homework on movies. Sometimes it sucked because we had to do stuff on movies that I didn't really care for. But when it was October, we had to do paper after paper of horror movies, and it was just great. Nice Man, does she know the twist? No, she does not. Well, she might. Her brother tells her all the plot twists to movies, which kind of is silly. To me, it's silly because, I don't know, I just don't like something to be ruined for me. Like, I couldn't be like, hey, do you want to hear the plot twist to Get Out? And I'd be like, oh yeah, sure, tell me, and then I'll watch it. Because I like to be shocked when the plot twist comes. Like, let's take the movie Saw, for instance, and I hope I don't piss anybody off for ruining a plot twist to Saw, but if I've known that the guy in the middle of the room was the killer the whole time, and then the moment at the end of the movie where he gets up, like, I wouldn't really feel that shocked. But when I first watched that movie, I was like I was completely on edge of my seat when Tobin Bell's character rose up. I was like, oh my god. Because I had never seen a big plot twist like that before in my life. So just if I'm the type of person that really does not want to be spoiled with anything. But she's kind of opposite. She doesn't mind spoilers at all. So her brother usually tells her the plot twists to some of the movies. So she might know the twist to this, but she might not. There's always a chance. But I would give this a 12 out of 10, a 100 out of 10. It is a classic movie. You can watch the Vince Vaughn one. He did a pretty good job with it. But this black and white one with Anthony Perkins, just please watch that one. Because that one is a masterpiece. So, yeah. Fantastic. Fantastic movie. Uh, what I'm going to go ahead and ask you the question. What is your absolute favorite Alfred Hitchcock movie? Go ahead and type it in the description box below. Or if you're live watching it with me, go ahead and say. I love the cameos of Alfred Hitchcock that he does in some of his movies. Like in Psycho, in the beginning scene, there's like the camera pans through like a door, and it has him standing sideways with a stomach, like his signature look in that door. But yeah, what is your favorite Alfred Hitchcock movie out of them all? And it could even be Psycho. So, but we're gonna wrap this up because we're gonna go eat and get ready to watch Aquaman in theaters. So, Psycho 2, hold on, isn't that bad either if you haven't seen it, but obviously it's nowhere near. I liked Psycho 2, honestly. There's actually 4 Psycho movies, but I haven't seen 4, and I did not care for 3. And you say Vertigo is your favorite. I actually have the movie Vertigo, if you guys don't know what it looks like. That's what it looks like right there, at least the version I bought. And I have not seen this, so I'm going to watch this week so that way I can be prepared for the Alfred Hitchcock Marathon. So be sure to look out for next week's horror vlog when I do reviews on Vertigo and other Hitchcock movies. But to finish this off, this next movie I want to do a review on changed my life. I fell in love with this movie from the very first moment I saw it. It scared me. It terrified me. I don't usually terrify in movies, but it creeped me out so bad that I had to watch a cartoon afterwards, and I feel comfortable saying that. It is a sick movie. It's actually a recent movie. It's a sick movie, had a big plot twist, huge plot twist. But sometimes, to keep with the theme of going places, be careful where you go. Sometimes the most terrifying place that you can go is your grandparents' place. Especially if you haven't seen your grandparents before. The next movie I'm going to review is The Visit. M. Night Shyamalan's The Visit is one of the greatest horror movies I have ever seen in my life. This standalone movie made me an M. Night Shyamalan fan. I did not like his Village, but I was going to say more, but I think I'm going to do an M. Night Shyamalan horror vlog as well, so I'm going to save it for that. But yeah, straight up don't like The Village. That's my least favorite of M. Night Shyamalan's movies. But this movie terrified the holy hell out of me. When I first watched it, the actors did such a good job. And also the actors in Get Out, they deserve an award because they did really good in that movie. But the actors that did this movie was just on point, and give the woman who played their grandma in this. I don't think it says on the back of the box here. No, it doesn't say, but if you can find me the name, I'll probably look it up on my phone. But whoever played the grandma in this movie, Give that woman an Oscar because she did such a good job with this movie. She scared the hell out of me. But this movie disturbed me. It really did. And I don't disturb easy with movies. If you don't know what it's about these two kids whose mom is real busy with work, and she's a single mom, and she wants to go out and try to date and kind of be herself. Well, she got into a fight with her parents years ago, and she had nothing to do with them. Well, she ends up sending her kids to her grandparents for a visit while she gets her life together. And she tells them all about their grandparents because they've never seen them before. And when they get there, they learn that there is something wrong with Grandma. They have to go to bed at, I believe it's like 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, somewhere between that, or 10 even, because after that their grandma has some sort of disease, and I can't think of the name of it because it's been a while since I've seen this, but it kind of makes her seem like a werewolf in a way. That movie redeemed M. Night from Last Airbender and Happening and After Earth. Yeah, he's made some of the most questionable movies, honestly, but this is by far his masterpiece, his Psycho, if you will. That and Unbreakable. I love Unbreakable. I loved Split. And Glass comes out this month. My ass is going to be there day one to see that movie. Because I cannot wait to see Glass. But yeah, they visit Grandma. She acts very strange. The scene that scared me the most was when they're playing hide and seek underneath the porch, and the grandma's like crawling on the ground underneath the porch. That freaking terrified me. But the grandpa, he's got something wrong with him too. He's like, I don't know how to put it. He gets aggressive very easy. Like sometimes he seems normal, sometimes he just snaps and gets aggressive. But what really terrifies me with him is that I actually know a guy. He lives here where I live, not like where I live, but in the town that I live in. And he reminds me just like him. He actually drinks gasoline. And I've seen him do it. I've heard the rumors, but I've seen him drink gasoline. He would carry a little tiny gas tank, and he actually drinks from it. But that guy is dangerous. I've been warned by several people that he is very dangerous. He's been in and out of jail so many times it's not even funny, but the police actually are afraid of this guy. And tasers no longer faze him because the cops had to come where I work and try to tase him because he started acting up. And he just laughs because tasers don't affect this guy. So yeah, he doesn't stay in prison for long. But I only watched the Village because I'm a huge Jacqueline Phoenix fan. Are you excited that he's playing a Joker in a new Joker movie then? Because that's who they got to play this new Joker, and it's supposed to be like a backstory of the Joker, kind of like The Killing Joke. But I'm not saying that movie is garbage. I'm not. The Village is not garbage. It's just one of my least favorite movies. The plot twist was actually very good. I did like that. But I don't know, just the acting wasn't really on point for me. The movie just didn't do much for me. It's one of those I want to see it once and then just kind of move on. But The Visit I'll watch a million times because it is by far one of the greatest stories ever told. It has a huge plot twist. If you don't know the plot twist of this movie, go watch it. Don't get it spoiled. And just get ready to be mind blown. So 100 out of 10 for this movie. It's what made me an M. Night Shyamalan fan. It's one of the first movies to ever really disturb me. It is a disgusting movie. Just you wait until this one scene. And if you've seen this movie, you know the scene I'm talking about. But it is disgusting. I threw up. The first time I watched this movie, I gagged because it was so disgusting. But just excellent, excellent movie. Just, ugh, I love it. I love that movie. But yeah, the moral behind this horror vlog is please be careful where you go. He and Michael Fassbender are my favorite modern actors. Michael Fassbender is my absolute favorite modern actor. I love him, especially in the X-Men movies. He did such an amazing job in the X-Men movies. And I think my least favorite movie that he did was The Snowman. Mostly because the director just did a horrible job with that movie. So horrible. I mean, what kind of director goes to this location where he's supposed to film all kinds of stuff for the movie and then just has a good time and forgets to film anything? Then when they leave, he's like, oh shit, let's record random shit and add it to the movie. Like, that movie has such a good story for the director to do the movie that way. I just did not like The Snowman. It had potential to be such a good movie. It was just done wrong. But no, Michael Fassbender is like one of the best actors, modern actors in our time. Love him as Magneto. But yeah, the moral to this horror vlog, guys, if you're out walking somewhere and you're alone or with a friend and you see this really scary place, or if you're just going out with your girlfriend and you go to meet her parents and you get this vibe, this little voice in your head that whispers, please don't go in there. You shouldn't go in there. You might want to listen to it because it could be the death of you. A wise man once quoted that there is more frightening things out there than death. Or no, how does it go? There's more. I done screwed that one up. I'm sorry, guys. It's like there's more worse things. There's worse things to go through than death. And I don't want to. Like, if I entered that shack when I saw it, and someone was there and caught me, imagine what they could have done. They could have done some kind of surgery on me. They could have threw me down that well and went all Buffalo Bill on my ass. So just be careful. This is a dangerous, dangerous world we live in. You just got me in an October mood. Oh God, October's 300 and some days away. It just breaks my soul apart. I wish that there was like 61 days in October instead of just 31. Honestly. But to a horror fan, every day is an October day. But be careful out there. It's a very dangerous world. Be careful where you go. Be careful who you see. And please comment below and let me know your stories. If you've been to some place you shouldn't have and saw something very scary, let me know what you think of today's movies. Get Out, Psycho, and The Visit. Whether you liked them, whether you didn't, whether you're an M. Night Shyamalan fan, whether you're a Alfred Hitchcock fan, which one do you think does better, Alfred Hitchcock movies or M. Night Shyamalan? And it's funny because both are actually known as their plot twists. Alfred Hitchcock was known as the plot twist king back in his time. And then M. Night Shyamalan is known as his big plot twists, where they even make fun of him in Robot Chicken. What the twist? So, yeah, Alfred Hitchcock versus M. Night Shyamalan. Who would have wrote a better story? Now, let's say they both had to write something brand new, like, you know, not The Visit versus Psycho. Let's just say that they both write something new. Which one do you think could come up with a better story? And I already know Mr. Isaac will probably say Alfred Hitchcock because, yeah, he's a big modern or big classic fan like I am. I love Alfred Hitchcock, and I think that he would win in my opinion. But just such a great writers. Two of the best horror writers. Some, you know, even if you don't like all their works, they're still great classic writers. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this horror vlog. Horror vlog number 33. Like, who would have thought that there would be 33 of these horror vlogs? Or 34, whichever one I'm on now. I done forgot. But, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Still staying with me all this time. I do have trouble watching some of the movies and getting prepared for horror vlogs sometimes. That's why I'm doing it today on a Thursday. But I'm going to try to do horror vlogs every Thursday, because for some reason I just can't seem to get it together on Wednesday. But thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you, Isaac. Give this guy a big shout out, everyone. Mega Movie Maniac. Subscribe to him and watch his channel. He just uploaded a Stanley Kubrick appreciation film, and he did such an excellent job working on that. He worked hard finding all that info and putting it out there. He does great with his channel. I loved his videos before, but he did take the old ones down. But I'm hoping that he does some more for his channel, because I'm a big fan of his. So if you have not seen it, Mega Movie Maniac is his username. And please subscribe to him, because he does such a better job with his research than I do. Like, I'm just organic. I say from my heart. He says from his mind, and he knows. I mean, he has a passion for this stuff just like I do. So please give him a big shout out. I will, man. I will. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Z3KO Trinity. I'm hungry. I'm going to go get me something to eat. And I guess I'm going to go visit my grandparents. Try to get out quick so I can get something to eat. Go visit my grandparents whenever I can. End this video before you guys get psycho on me. I might even do a review on Aquaman. I don't know.